Hello all you beautiful people, my name is Travis. I hope you're all having a super cozy day. What do you get when you cross the judicial legal drama of Law and Order with the gritty crime fighting of a certain caped crusader and the internal holy battle of one soul? You get maybe the most brutal and bloody MCU title to date, starring Charlie Cox, Deborah Ann Woll, Eldon Henson, Ayelet Zurer, Margarita LaViva, John Bernthal, Janaea Walton, Michael Gandolfini, and Vincent D'Onofrio in Daredevil Born Again. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know before watching Marvel Studios' 52nd title and 12th Disney Plus series. Whether this is the very first MCU property you've been introduced to, or you're just a casual viewer of the series and need a quick brushing up, I'm here to fill you in on everything that's come before. Let's begin! So I can't truly dissect the preludes of Daredevil Born Again without first explaining one important matter, that being the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU. A collection of, so far, 51 independent, yet cleverly woven and interlinked properties that begin with Iron Man in 2008, and has expanded over the years until the release of Captain America Brave New World in 2025. Alright, so just a little backstory to the backstory here. Once upon a time in the 2010s, Marvel had licensed out a particular set of their street-level characters to Netflix under the Marvel Television umbrella, giving the streaming service full creative control over the characters, producing 3 seasons of both Daredevil and Jessica Jones, 2 seasons each of Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and The Punisher, and a single team-up season of The Defenders. While the Disney and Marvel Studios side of the MCU had their own cool party of canonical stories and crazy shit going on, the two production companies just didn't communicate very well, or at all for that matter. Coupled with the fact that the Netflix shows would do their best to reference the events of the wider MCU on occasion, the MCU not once acknowledged the existence of Netflix shows, which just kind of proved to audiences that the two entities were completely exclusive in both a legal and storytelling sense. However, since then, Disney has done a bit of string pulling, studio monopolizing, and contract ending, allowing themselves to create their own overpriced streaming service, giving them the creative opportunity to canonize the Marvel Netflix shows and allow these previously separate characters and stories a chance at being born again into the MCU proper. So with that, according to Disney+, the events of the Marvel Netflix shows are officially MCU canon, and Disney is proving this by giving their best series the first shot at a soft reboot. While the MCU has primarily focused on bigger, louder, world-ending, high-stakes storylines, there lies a relatively quieter pocket of street-level stories within a not-so-quiet Manhattan neighborhood known as Hell's Kitchen. Essentially the Gotham City of the fictionalized MCU New York City, Hell's Kitchen is seemingly the go-to place for all things crime, poverty, violence, and corruption. The gritty urban neighborhood acts as the stomping ground for many less than reputable characters, one of the most notable and kill-crazy being Frank Castle, aka The Punisher, a former Marine whose family was murdered in a gang-related shootout that sent Castle into a grief-induced quest for revenge, which lands a lot of crime groups and corrupt officials on his shit list. As dangerous and cold-blooded as The Punisher is, no other Hell's Kitchen resident is as feared, respected, and powerful as Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. After murdering his physically and emotionally abusive father with a hammer as a child, Wilson Fisk spent his traumatically forged life molding and creating an empire within Hell's Kitchen through fear and intimidation that would allow him to shape his home into his own, albeit warped, image. With a sort of Thanos-like self-burdened attitude, the ruthless crime boss feels that without his influence, Hell's Kitchen would fall into complete disrepair. Therefore, his actions, no matter how messed up, are always justified if it benefits his community, even if he feels the need to decapitate a guy's head with a car door. As powerful as Fisk is, he does maintain a surprisingly sweet and loving spot for his loyal wife, Vanessa. An elegant art dealer swooned by his power and influence, Vanessa shows him a love that he's never known before. She's even gone to great lengths to protect him. Would you have a federal agent assassinated for someone you love? Well, Vanessa sure as shit has. Fisk has proven time and time again that Vanessa is the only thing more important to him than his own cause. Just, dear God, don't interrupt them on date night. Not only does Fisk keep the law on his payroll, he's even aided by some pretty dangerous dudes, like the very emotionally unstable FBI agent / Daredevil superfan, Ben Poindexter, who is really good at throwing things at people as well as being really good at getting manipulated by Fisk into doing his dirty work. Things aren't all doom and gloom for Hell's Kitchen, though. Making sure that the neighborhood has a chance at seeing the light is the mysterious devil of Hell's Kitchen, Daredevil. By night, the masked ninja-like vigilante prowls the streets, beating criminals to a pulpy mess with his fists and billy clubs. By day, however, Daredevil, aka Matt Murdock, protects the streets of his home from the arena of a courtroom. The residential lawyer, with the help of his best friend / law partner Foggy Nelson and ex-Flame / journalistic reporter Karen Page, all work together to take down the city's biggest goons through transparent and legal means. What can't be accomplished through the system, though, Matt takes into his own calloused and bloodied hands. After a very traumatizing childhood that involved him being permanently blinded from a chemical accident, as well as witnessing the murderous aftermath of his boxing champion father, Matt was soon after trained by a mysterious, also blind, martial arts master. Through these lessons, Matt was shown how to enhance his other senses, gifting him an almost supernatural spatial awareness ability to hear, feel, smell, and sense what a regular Joe could never. As a man who looks to bring justice to his community, Matt Murdock is in a constant struggle over how far he is actually willing to go to win the fight, as his strong moral code prevents him from taking lives, which stems from his Catholic upbringing. What separates Matt from the aforementioned Frank Castle Punisher is his devout belief in the sanctity of human life. Between his faith and experiences as a lawyer, Matt understands that taking a life is not a suitable solution to any problem, even if it does mean losing the fight. Thumbs up for not killing people. It's this internal conflict and accountability of others that both humanizes and differentiates him from the anti-heroes. Over the course of the 3 Daredevil seasons, we bear witness to all these players fighting over the soul of Hell's Kitchen, the 2 main opponents being Murdock and Fisk. 2 sides of the same coin, both men experienced trauma at a young age, losing their fathers in violent situations. Although through different means, both are driven by an undying conviction to do what they think is right for their city, struggling with their demons and fighting to grasp with their own moral complexities. The finale of Daredevil Season 3 concludes in a 3-way penthouse brawl between a pissed-off Wilson Fisk, a pissed-off psycho Ben Poindexter Daredevil wannabe, and a pissed-off masked ninja Matt Murdock. During the fight, Fisk gives Poindexter a free spinal adjustment, and Matt Murdock very nearly breaks his no-kill rule on Fisk's face, which is quickly followed up by a pivotal moment that establishes a new status quo between the 2 men. Although Matt has the high ground, Fisk knows that threatening the lives of Foggy Nelson and Karen Page will strike a nerve within Matt, who actually ups the ante by ripping off his mask and telling Fisk that if he doesn't turn himself in for all the villainy he's caused, he'll prove to the authorities that his wife Vanessa had a federal agent murdered, which shuts Fisk right the hell up and creates an emotional Mexican standoff between the 3 of them. Since those sweet Netflix Daredevil days and the characters going all Disney acquisition-y, Matt Murdock has acted as a kind of legal connective tissue in the MCU, representing a certain web crawler for a time, hooking up with a hulked-out lady lawyer, and doing a Daredevil-y ass-kicking cameo in another Disney Plus series. Our old pal Wilson Fisk, on the other hand, has actually had a bit deeper of a journey since we last saw him. Yeah, he went to prison for a lot of bad shit, but now he's suddenly free, rebuilding his empire in the Hawkeye series, and back on top as the Kingpin of NYC a few years later. How and why is this dude free after all the bad he did? Who's to say? The universe has seen itself half erased and suddenly blipped back in the time since, so who knows? Point being, Fisk is totally back, and after undergoing a bit of good old-fashioned Native American trauma healing in Echo, seems to be considering a larger stepping stone on his path to undisputed power.
Most voters want somebody who is a fighter.
There are legitimate problems in the city right now. Voters want somebody who understands the pain they're going through, who understands the frustration they're going through.
A bare-knuckled brawler would do well in this race. Somebody who is not afraid to take on the establishment.
Is that candidate even out there?
There's no doubt it is late in the process, but there's still a window of opportunity. That's what the poll is telling us. It could be anybody's race.
For the condensed yet definitive Daredevil Born Again experience, I would recommend checking out Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Daredevil. Alright, all you cool cats, that is the story so far. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Every view and every subscription seriously means the world. If you enjoyed or learned anything in this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to stay caught up with the always expanding MCU. There's so much content out there, it's hard to keep up, and that's what I'm here for. You'll see a new video from me shortly before any new MCU, movie, series, or special debuts. That being said, please enjoy Marvel Studios' Daredevil Born Again.